nice activity. Sweet sounding guitar, doggone it, Ken!
It is. It's a beauty.
For our buddy Gil Paris.
Gil Paris. This is the GPS. And the GPS, because those were the initials that kept rolling through with it. Gil Paris signature. And then it shortened to GPS, and then it just started to stick.
I like it.
And yeah, it's kind of a fun name for a guitar.
It is.
There's so much going on here. Again, there's more to unravel. Like, why did we do this? That's the number. I've gotten that question a few times. Never sarcastically. Mostly people were like, damn, that's cool. Why'd you do that?
Right.
Because we never have.
It works.
And we there was a point where we said we never would. And you know what? Never say you're never going to do something.
Never say never.
Because the second you say we'll never do that,
Right.
Time will come around and bite you in the ass. So Gil Paris is an amazing guitar player from the Great American Northeast.
That's correct, Amundo.
New York City based. You have heard him play on numerous things. And
Blood, Sweat, and Tears, a variety of who's who of the jazz rock realm.
Yes, studio musician for years and years in the New York City jazz scene. And so a lot of...
and can we just say, one of the nicest guys of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool cat, fun to hang around, fun to play with. We've jammed many times. He's just always a treat.
And one of those guys that can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's very hard to stump him on the guitar.
Correct.
And he he's a beautiful human, and he's been playing Reverend guitars for years. He had a Reverend Rocco, and then when we started doing guitars with Mir, we modified a Charger HB with a middle pickup. We put a lace pickup in between the two humbuckers. And he played that at Muriel Anderson's All-Star Guitar Night and brought everybody to their feet at the NAMM show in 2005 or 6 or something. It was great. And we turned that guitar that we had made him into his first signature model. And then it went through many changes. It ended up on our 6-gun platform, both with a trem and then a hardtail. And then we did a clinic together in New York with you and Gil and myself. And Gil started playing around on your guitar, and then I believe we were at a Sam Ash, and we were there with Fishman.
That's correct.
And you had one of your Fishman single width loaded Strats on you, and Gil played it and just was completely blown away by the pickups. And then so I said to Gil, well, hey, we've got this relationship with Fishman now because we're doing all this stuff with Greg. We could probably do a version of your guitar with the Fishman pickups in it. So then we took the 6-gun, got some of these single width pickups, did some stuff, started screwing around with it, and then Naylor, of all people, comes to me and says, you know, Gil has been playing that S-body for years. That was what he was playing before he came to us. If we did a Carina S-bodied guitar with these pickups, that would be a cool thing.
Right.
And then at the time when we were talking about this, and I don't know if that's changed or not because I can't possibly be up on everything, but nobody was using these pickups in a production model guitar.
Correct.
And so we thought it was kind of a fun thing, readily available in the aftermarket, preloaded pick guards, all of that sort of thing. But we wanted to do it right from the factory. So then we bounced that off of Gil, and he was floored. And here we are with the GPS. So this is a Carina body, roasted maple neck. Maple version, Polyfero version on the fingerboards. We have our locking tuners, of course. We've also chosen a different Wilkinson bridge on this that has a slightly wider string spacing because Gil plays with his fingers a lot. And there was a version of this classic guitar that had a wider string spacing that was introduced in the late 80s, and he really liked that string spacing, and it turns out that Wilkinson made a version of their trem with said spacing.
Oh, I did not know that.
So that is why when you're finger picking, you may feel like you have a little more room when you're right up at the bridge.
Oh, very interesting.
You actually do. Why don't you tell us about the pickups? Because you are a Fishman
well, it's interesting because these are the first
spokesperson.
These are the first iteration of the Fluence pickups that we voiced, and I flew out to. I'm trying to think how many years ago. Maybe 9 years ago already. It's been a while.
Last year didn't happen, remember?
That's correct. So 8 years, in real time, in actual whatever. So the deal is with these pickups is that we could talk about what's under the hood and so on and so forth, but just the ergonomics of it is we wanted a great sounding pickup that was also noiseless, which usually is the other way around. It's like they're noiseless, they sound pretty good. That's been kind of the paradigm in the past.
Or they're noiseless and they sound like great humbuckers.
Right.
Because I've got a few versions that I like, the Corgan DiMarzios as a great example. They don't. It no longer sounds like a but it sounds good in its own regard.
Right.
But this is not that.
Correct.
Yes.
So this particular pickup set, well, all the Fluence pickups have multiple voices. So there's 2 voices to these pickups, and that's what this tone control here does. When you pick it up, you get a second voice. And again, it's not like it's adding something to the first voice. It's an entirely separate voice because there is a preamp on board. But there, and this is one of the things for me initially. I'm not a big fan of batteries in the guitar, but there's ways that they figure it out where it's not even an issue for the most part. There's an input jack here where there's a little mini USB input where you charge up the pickups, and for an hour and a half charge, you get 300 hours of plugged in playing time. So only if you plug in your guitar and keep it plugged in for like all week, and then you go to your gig and you're like, why don't I have any power? I mean, other than that, I have never run out of juice in the 9 years I've been using these pickups. So it's one of those things where I change my strings after every couple of gigs.
Sure.
And away you go. But anyway, so there's that. But
and the other, not to interrupt, but the other thing that makes this guitar special and having these pickups loaded in a production model is we were able to internalize the battery pack.
Correct.
And put that input jack, which is why the input jack is on the side and not on the top, as your eye would normally see.
Correct. Exactly.
And as opposed to when you're installing these pickups aftermarket on a guitar, you have
it's on the back.
Yeah, you either have it on the back or you have a battery pack under the pick guard.
Right,
and
all that
sort of stuff.
Right. So because of the battery, there's a preamp on board that changes the voices of these pickups. So again, you have to imagine that you've instantaneously swapped out one set for the next. So the original voice that we were going for was based on like a 54, Strat type of a thing. Going through this nice twin, which is nice in Brightsville. But what I really liked about these pickups is that all 5 positions of the toggle switch sound great. So you got your neck pickup, 4, the middle, and of course, and then the bridge. So now if I pop up on this tone control, we get the second voice, which is something hotter. It's like an overwound. And when I do that, obviously, it does it for all positions.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Let's add a little heat to this thing. Turn the volume down, you don't lose any highs. Super versatile and dead quiet.
Yeah.
So I love the sound of these pickups, and I think the Karina body sounds great with them.
Yeah. The whole package just really, really works. And see Gil's doing a lot of, he and Bernie Williams have got their band and their combo thing going out again. And we have plans on getting Gil in here. We were supposed to do a big thing last winter, and then
Right.
And none of that came together. But now that everything is coming back together, and I would imagine there will be a point where you will be heading back out with the Fishman thing.
Right.
We hope to be able to put together stuff with you and Gil and get, maybe go do something fun out there at Rudy's or
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
something. Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of itching to get. Now we're just easing back in.
We're easing in. We're easing in.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Reverend Guitars GPS for Gil Paris. I love Dire Straits.
Right?